Why are thousands of grown women, moms, wives, professionals, women with real lives, completely obsessed with The Summer I Turned Pretty? And why were we up at 2 a.m. scrolling TikTok edits for hours, rewatching scenes like we were in them, and crying over a fictional love triangle? I mean, yes, it's the perfect casting, the incredible acting, the music, the Easter eggs, so good. But it's not just that, because it didn't just feel like Belly's story, it felt like ours. For some of us, Jeremiah and Conrad weren't just fictional boys. They mirrored men that we've loved, marriages that we've survived, and lessons that we had to learn the hard way. And in a confused state of trying to put the puzzle pieces together when you're right in the middle of it. But this is so beautifully played out from the beginning to the end that for me, this show didn't just feel like a Wednesday night guilty pleasure addiction. It felt like clarity. Let's start with the Jeremiahs that some of us have had in our lives. He's fun, he's charming, he's magnetic, he's loved by other people for those characteristics. But when it comes to real life relationship choices, he takes a job with his dad without thinking of us. He wants a $750 cake on a credit card when he hasn't even invested in our wedding ring.
Great, the two-tier glaze?
Slight change of plans. How about a one-tier chocolate cake with milk chocolate frosting? No cacao, but you can still keep the raspberry coulis.
Ellie, cacao is the bean. It's what chocolate is made of. Look, the whole flavor profile depends on the bitterness of the dark chocolate and the sweet tartness of the raspberry.
The cake is my one thing, and you said each of us get one thing.
Right. Yeah. He'll ignore our stress about the wedding, conveniently overlooking what we want. He'll let us give up a trip to Paris to soothe his own abandonment wounds. And the moment we use our voice, he'll fold into an innocent-seeming guilt. If you don't want me to, I won't. I want you to be happy. And it looks like sacrifice from the outside, but it's not. It puts the burden back on us. And I've lived this. Maybe you have too. The man who's agreeable and happy until you dare to set boundaries or bring up opinions or bring up your own hurt. Suddenly, they're a victim and you're the problem. Jeremiah shows us this truth, that being wanted isn't the same as being loved. And let me say that again. Being wanted isn't the same as being loved. It feels so good to be chosen. And sometimes we get stuck in that and we stay with the Jeremiah. And that's where the contrast sharpens. Jeremiah's mistakes come from ego. And that's why he cheated on Belly, because he needed that validation. He wanted to be wanted. Then he avoided accountability by turning it around on Belly that it was her fault that he thought they were broken up. Ego says me before we, and so many of us have learned about this the hard way. But Conrad's flaws, they came from protectiveness. He didn't chase attention. His pullbacks and silences are rooted in care, even when they frustrate us. So for many of us, that feels revolutionary because most of us have only known men whose mistakes came from ego. Men who lied, cheated, or betrayed for validation. And we began to lower our voice a little at a time until there wasn't a voice left at all. Because it feels good for us to be chosen. And we don't get chosen by that same person anymore like we did in the beginning unless we're quiet. Unless we give up ourselves. So for me, Conrad feels rare. A man whose flaws come from caring too much, not too little. And Conrad sometimes frustrates us because he's avoidant. But it's deeper than that, because he's parentified. When his mom got sick, he became the protector. He carried his family's weight in silence. And if you grew up that way, you know what it's like to be older than your years, to hold it all together so no one else has to. And that weight shows up in his panic attacks, his distance, his bracing against the world. And here's what made him magnetic. I mean, outside of how beautiful he is and how adorable his mannerisms are, Conrad didn't just sit in his avoidance. He sought therapy. He worked on his career. He names what was happening. He tries to grow. And for women like us, watching a man wrestle with his emotions instead of running from them, that feels radical. Because so many of us were with men who breadcrumbed us, just enough to keep us quiet, but never did any work. And Conrad feels different because he chooses healing. And in the end, he chooses the hard conversations and apologies. And that makes all the difference. And I want to talk about the peach scene, which for me redefined intimacy. Belly stands there with juice dripping down her face, a childlike magic glow. And Conrad, he untucks his brand new white shirt and gently wipes her face. He doesn't protect the shirt, he protects her. And that moment wrecked me, because I've only known men who would have cared more about their white shirt than my comfort. And Conrad shows us intimacy that says, I'll let myself get messy if it means you feel safe. And that's not just butterflies in your stomach romantic, that's partnership. And he shows it in other ways, the way he's always trying to feed her, protect her, care about her happiness more than his own. And to see that played out in real time in front of us, it's like a light bulb came on for a lot of us who've begged for breadcrumbs from a Jeremiah. And of course, there's the music. It was so cool to see all of this character development that felt so real play out to lyrics that feel so real to many of us too.
I miss screaming and fighting and kissing in the rain. It's 2 a.m. and I'm cursing your name. So in love that I acted insane, and that's the way I loved you.
Taylor Swift's soundtrack isn't just background. Those lyrics carry heartbreak, longing, betrayal, rebirth. Those are our stories, not just Belly's. And what makes this series healing is the clarity. Because when you're in an unhealthy relationship, especially with someone avoidant or ego-driven, it's confusing. You replay everything, wondering if you imagined it, wondering if it's all your fault, learning ways to correct yourself. And this show lays it out, season by season. We get to watch the patterns unfold with the clarity we never had in our own lives. And that's healing, to finally see it, name it, and understand it, and to feel the ache, and then see the clarity, and then witness the growth. And this is why we're a little obsessed with Conrad, not because he's perfect, but because he's real. He's the avoidant who actually chooses, the boy who carried too much, panicked, shut down, but also sought help, showed up, and chose anyway. The Jeremiahs make you feel wanted in the moment, but it's the Conrads that make you feel safe for a lifetime. And this fandom runs deep because we're not only watching Belly's love triangle, we're kind of watching ourselves. And now here's the big story. Women are changing. We're done silencing ourselves. We're done accepting breadcrumbs and the avoidance of accountability. And I hope men are changing too, through the same self-reflections that we do to grow, through therapy, through speaking about your feelings, realizing love isn't ego or image or just the fireworks. It's consistency, presence, and care. The obsession with Conrad isn't silly. It's a reflection of what we're ready for now. Not just passion, but a love that stays. So when we obsess over the summer I turned pretty, it's not just about cousins, beach, or who gets the girl. It's about us, about the heartbreaks we survived, the marriages we lost ourselves in, and the kind of love we're finally ready to claim. Because in the end, Jeremiah is summer, but Conrad is a lifetime. So I think that the real meaning of this story is, we don't just want to be chosen anymore. We want to be loved, and we want to be loved well. And maybe now we have a better idea of what that love actually looks like. So tell me in the comments, what's your favorite thing about Conrad's love? And if you want more conversations like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel, Journey to Jessica, because the journey starts within.